What's poppin', everyone? It's definitely been a while, long time no see, but I have a little story. I think I met the real life Aunt Gladys from Weapons. Yesterday I was in my car, like putting stuff in it, and I heard some tapping on glass at the apartment complex that I live across from. I look, and it's like this old woman, like trying to get my attention, and I don't know what she wanted. I like raised my voice enough and was like, hey, do you need me to come up there? And so I did, and I went up there, and on her door it says, stalking is a federal offense, and you are being recorded right now. Didn't see a camera. Also, she's literally watching me right now. Anyway, I like only go in her threshold, and she looks like she's between like 70 and 80, maybe older. Makeup exactly like Aunt Gladys. All that was different was her white hair instead of the orange hair. But she's like, hey, so there's a man looking at me through my kitchen closet door. And I was like, he's here right now? And she was like, yeah, do you want to come see? And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And she was like, well, should I call the cops? And I was like, yeah, you definitely should do that. And she was like, well, I've tried before and they don't do anything. And she was like, can you call them for me? And I was like, do you have a phone? And then she was like, could you just come see? And I was like, no, I'm still not gonna do that. And she was like, and I was like, so he's like in here right now. How did he get in here? And she like motioned, like she like walked a little bit so that I guess it looked like she was looking at her kitchen closet. And she was like, you should see the look on this guy's face. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And I was just like, I'm not doing this, right? I ended up just literally, I told her, I was like, hey, I'm gonna call 911, and I just walked away. So I called the cops, and I have to tell them the most bizarre thing that's ever happened to me. I thought it was really funny whenever I had to tell them the part of like how she asked me to go check, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, I tell them, they say someone's gonna go out there. They never said anything about previous visitings or whatever to that place. So, like, I'm talking to my girlfriend Marley, and like 30 minutes later, I'm like, oh, someone's here. You know what? It was like 20 minutes later, something like that. And I'm like looking out of one of my blinds because I was like seeing if they were gonna come, and then they did. And then I saw like a cop like walking away. So I was like, oh, okay. I guess they went to go see. So, you know, I was being nosy. I kept checking to see like what was up. And then they finally left. No one came to knock on my door, which is fine. I kind of thought they might, but they did not. Oh well. So no one came knocking on my door. I just left it at that. But yeah, that was like the most bizarre, weird experience of my whole life. I honestly hope it never happens again. And also, I forgot, whenever I was calling 911, she was definitely looking at me. And I'm like, alright, someone closed her blinds permanently. So this happened on a Sunday. Today is Tuesday. I called a few government offices because they all like ping-ponged me to like who I was actually supposed to talk to. Because I thought one department went to go see her, but it was actually another one. And ultimately, all they could tell me was that they did make contact with the female and that everything was under control. So I think she has a mental illness and that there was not actually a man in there. When I was talking to 911, the dispatcher was like, so does she normally live alone? And I was like, I don't know if I've ever seen this woman in my whole life. I don't know, dude. I hope I never see her again. I'm never looking up at that window ever again. And I'm gonna stop responding to tapping on glass. Moral of the story, I guess. I know it's been a while. A lot's changed in my life since like my last YouTube video. But I kind of felt like this was something that I wanted to video, so I did. Yeah, I definitely intend to make more. As I know that I've said that like 5 times, specifically on this channel. But, oh well, dude. I have a new camera and some lenses that I like, so I'm gonna just try to do stuff. We'll see. Anyway, I'll be back in the next one. Y'all stay chill.